So, the Terror of Hallows Eve. This was uh, straight to Redbox, straight to DVD. Came out 2 years ago around Christmas. Uh, I heard about it, but it kept getting past me, and I don't rent from Redbox really anymore. So I was waiting for it to come on digital. That never happened, but it finally got to Showtime, and by the time my Showtime canceled, I canceled my Showtime. I was just ready, since it's Halloween, getting about Halloween time, to watch it. And after I was hearing a lot more about, you know, makeup artist Todd Tucker directing it, and there being an amazing amount of practical effects done for it being a cheaper, independent film. And it was a pain in the butt to try and rent this up, and I couldn't find a copy anywhere online, and except for eBay, and it was an extremely high price. And this is one I'd like to really get on Blu-ray eventually, because it was amazing. The practical effects, especially for this being a low-budget film, were very well done. You can tell that Todd Tucker, all the special effects, makeup, and all the work he's done on makeup effects and practical, all that stuff has done him well, because he put all that into this, and I really enjoyed all the practical effects. I really enjoyed the story too. Um, I guess it's based semi a true story, because Todd Tucker wrote pieces of his childhood into it, because you can tell the kid in this is a big horror fan, loves sculpting, loves like the practical elements within the universe. He loves messing with his neighbors, acting like he's got guts. His guts are coming out, and doing blood works all over him, and pissing off the neighbors. But yeah, this was really cool. The scarecrow, that's just one of the you know um, practical uh, monsters that is done by the guy who was actually the creature in the shape of water, which is he does the trickster, and he does the scarecrow, I believe. And the trickster is definitely, it reminds me of like the Krampus type lore, except it's more, instead of Christmas, it's Halloween, even though it did come out during Christmas. This definitely gave me Krampus vibes. I mean, um, the kid making a wish and everything, that, the people bullying him, and, a magical being coming from this day of Halloween, like kind of like how Krampus did on Christmas. But once he makes his wish, that he wishes all the bullies would be scared to death, um, the trickster appears, and he the kid, he basically has to draw. Um, See, there's a lot of elements brought in. I'd say like even Death Note, with a lot of 80s um, horror, like John Carpenter. All the classics were definitely, he definitely took stuff from this, and it was really impressive to see. This definitely is one I want to own. I'm bummed I can't find a good copy, and especially I could not find a Blu-ray copy, period. All I could find was DVD, and it was like $40. And I really would like to get a copy of this to add to the collection, because this seems like it would definitely be a cult classic. Even if it wasn't, it is a definitely cult classic in my book. This is one I would definitely love to watch every Halloween, even a couple times a year, because just to see how far this Todd Tucker came from how far he went from, having a low budget to doing all these really, really cool practical effects. It's very impressive. And, you go back and look at a lot of his work. I remember him from That's So Raven. He did the Audrey look-alike. Um, he's done the Ouija Origin of Evil. He's done a lot more work than you know you would think. Look up his IMDb credits, and he has a lot of work. And you know he has. I'd really love to get a sequel to this because it definitely seemed like there was a little bit, lingering. But for lingering for a sequel, if this ever became something special, and well, it is something special. So if it really gets big with the fans, you know, I think if Todd Tucker distributed, got a better distribution deal, I know he's got some deal with Showtime or Redbox maybe, but if he and Amazon maybe I think, but if you could get this like, if he could have got it somewhere where it's able to be rented a lot easier, well, kind of like how the Terrifier, you can just pull that up on Netflix, and that is a cult classic because a lot of people have Netflix. If it was a lot easier to get to, if it was just a Prime, like, oh, you could watch it on Amazon Prime for free if you have Amazon Prime, because that's bigger, then it would help. But because it's just Showtime, not a lot of people have Showtime. There's not, Shameless ended, and people have it, but it's not one. I'd say people go for HBO and Stars more, in my opinion. With the TV show, the original shows they have, Showtime doesn't really have anything right now. I'd have to double check and look. Don't quote me on that one, but yeah, this was really cool. I like the kid that they got to act in it. I totally forgot to write it down, but the kid's name. But he won an award for his performance in the movie at one of a little film festival. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think people need to really check this out because this is the type of movie that, if it does well, you know, Todd Tucker will give us another one, and these are the type of movies that need support because he put everything, I'm sure, into this movie. This was a passion project for him. This was one of his first. I don't know if it's his first director credit, but it is definitely, I'm sure, the first thing he's gotten to do that's a passion project for him. It has bits of him in the story. So I mean, this is something that comes from the heart, I think, from him, and you can see it because um, you know the kid is a huge horror fan, and I was like that. I wasn't as crazy with the practical effects, but I was a huge horror fan, and no one could understand how at 5 years old I was sitting in the pitch black room watching Killer Clowns from Outer Space all by myself. My mom could not believe it, but I've always loved horror. I've always been drawn to it, and I've been getting a lot more into the cult classics the last couple years, trying to watch all the good stuff. And you know, I'm more of a practical guy. I like practical effects, the CG, if it's done right, yeah, it can look good. But it's just a lot of these companies are just really lazy, and let's fix it all with CG. No, I like to see a practical monster, and then maybe add a little CG to to give it a little bit more pop. But other than that, I want 99% or like 98% practical, 2% CG, because I just I'll watch the old movies then if they're gonna go full CG, because it doesn't work. It is one of the only ones I've seen work where the CG actually works. But yeah, this was really good. I really would love to get a copy of this. I'd love to be able to track a Blu-ray down to see it in that type of quality, because DVD, there were some dark scenes, so like DVD, I feel like it would be, you know, a little bit harder to tell. But this was definitely worth the watch. It was definitely worth the rent, and I would recommend this to um, any horror fan, any practical horror fan, anyone that was a fan of Krampus. If you liked Krampus, you should definitely like this, because it's like the Halloween Krampus, in my opinion. But it definitely has its own thing going for it. It is not just a Halloween version of Krampus. It's definitely its own thing. Just the only thing I'd say is like the wish is that makes it, you know, like Krampus in a way, but it has a lot of different types of horrors elements mixed in with it. It has a lot of stuff going for it, and it was really fun to watch, and I really enjoyed this. And hopefully I'll be able to find a physical copy of this one day, and hopefully we'll get a sequel, because I'm really looking forward to that, and hope you can pull that off, Todd Tucker. Great job, bro, and I really look forward to the sequel. Alright, guys, great review. Throw that thumbs up, and throw me a subscribe, please. That would help my channel out. I'm just growing, so I want to keep it going. I want to keep the channel rising and keep doing a lot more videos. See you guys. Have a great night.